Hi everyone, it's Sandia Pillay and welcome to Kindness Day, a day where we just give back on the forum and also just to thank you all for being part of the family, okay? So excuse my scratchy voice. I am just recovering from the flu and I'm losing my voice actually, but I have to do this video because I'm so excited to give back to the forum, which is my family, to you guys. So Vicky, our amazing administrator, reached out to me and we decided, okay, let's discuss the topic of direction. Because we've noticed that a lot of you are posting, oh, I don't know what to do. I want to start a business. Um, I'm not sure I have the skills. So much time has passed. I've got family to sort out, kids and bills to pay, etc. So a lot of you are in that space, not sure what to do, not sure you have the talents or the skills or the degree, etc., etc. And time is not on your side, a lot of you feel. And those are all myths, okay? We're going to debunk that. And then there's another set of you that are excited about a lot of things, passionate about a lot of things, and don't know which one to pick. So these are quite involved topics. So, we're not going to unpack it all in detail. We just want to give you a takeaway video where you can take away things and apply things today to make the change, immediate changes, okay? We'll unpack more on it in different videos, but this is just really a topical conversation. So in either case, whether you don't know or whether you do know, I want you to just to work with me on this. So suspend what you know. When you're watching a video like this, just suspend what you know, which is what I do. I just suspend all the books I've read and all the knowledge I've gained, and I just hand myself over to the process. So please just hand yourself over to the process, okay? So in either case, what you really want to be careful of, whether you think you know what you want to do, whether you're very, very clear about what you want to do, or whether you're unclear, you want to be sure of certain things, okay? And the main thing is you have to do something that excites you, that gets your blood going and is not forced. Okay, so a lot of people have said, no, that's not true. You can't always do what you love. I just had a client the other day tell me, you know what, you can't make money from something you love. You can't, and he was very firm in his opinion. And we're working on that. But you really just want to focus on the things that drive you. So a lot of people tell me, oh, hang on a second, I'm too old for this. I don't know what drives me anymore. I've got this to sort out, that to sort out. It's been so long, I can't remember when I was a kid, a teenager, what I liked. So don't worry about any of that, okay? So what I often do is, and I myself have done it, is you find the things that drive you. And how do you find these things? The answer is very, very simple. You're going to laugh. It's actually, the answer lies in your hobbies, in the things you do in your off time, in your free time, the things that are keeping you up at night, where you Googling, you're researching, you're watching a YouTube video, not for business, but for pleasure. The shopping malls you go to, where do you go to in the shopping mall? For example, when I go to the shopping mall, I immediately go to the hardware store because I love renovations. I've renovated my home several times and I just love doing that. So I could spend like hours in hardware stores. I know it's weird, right? But, and then I also love cooking. So I'm always looking at modern cuisine books, gastronomy books, those kind of things, and my son and I have that thing together, and my family. And the answer also lies in what people tell you. People, when they walk with you into a shopping center, they be like, oh, I know you're going to go to that shop, so I'll see you just now, you go there and I'll go there. Or my family will tell me, why don't you open a restaurant? You're so good at cooking, why don't you open, they keep urging us to do that. So that's the answer, okay? The answers lie in what excites you and does not come with force. You're not forced to read a book about it. You're not forced to be driven about baking, for example, if that's your thing. You're not forced. If engineering is your thing, you're not forced to, when you go to a bookshop, to pull that book off a shelf, okay? So those are generally the categories that you are drawn to, okay, by nature. Nothing to do with your career, nothing to do with your degree, nothing to do with your adult years spent doing XYZ, failures or successes. we're just talking about you as a human being. So if you are in that ballpark, you kind of like in a safe range, okay? So for example, another client of mine came to me and said, okay, when I reached the floor, he was stuck in corporate for a long time as a manager, and he was, he loved biking, and he loved traveling, adventure traveling. He loved teaching, but he was stuck as a manager in a sales position in corporates for a long time. And he said the minute he gets to the ground floor, he feels this pit in his tummy, and he just feels sick to his tummy. So his body was telling him that he doesn't belong in those environments. His body was clearly giving him a no. And if you're not in tune with your body, you're not going to be able to differentiate when you need to get out of that circumstance, whatever your situation is, money-wise, because you're not going to get much happiness out of that situation, and you're going to just get more sick. You're going to fall sick physically, you're going to fall sick emotionally, mentally. It's just going to have a domino effect in the direction that you don't want. So that was one example. The other example was somebody else, and we were discussing their case, and they were talking about, oh, I'm good at this, and I'm good at the PowerPoint presentation, but I hate my job, but I get such fulfillment from doing a PowerPoint presentation. And so when we unpacked it, it wasn't the actual PowerPoint presentation, it was a sense of accomplishment he got from finishing the PowerPoint presentation. And the other person was, I just love standing at the water cooler at the office and just shooting the breeze and talking nonsense. I've always got colleagues at my desk talking to me. And that's what he liked. He really liked to be talking live on TV, on radio, etc. And that was his bent. That was his spin. It was effortless for him, it was just something that he loved. So those are the things that you want to focus on. If you're doing something that you hate, out of the question, you have to change that immediately. You simply cannot continue doing that, okay? Even if it pays the bills, even if it brings it in, you're going to have to reverse that direction back to be in alignment with your soul and your guidance and where that is going, okay? So that is kind of like the things that you look at. You look at stupid little things could have great significance. You like doodling on paper. Make a list, keep a list on the left and on the right, things you like and things you like and love, and things you dislike and hate. Or look at your past, your career, your jobs, different situations in society, with your friends, with your family, and just list it down. Then you take a highlighter, okay, and you circle different words, excited, angry, irritated, annoyed. You look at the patterns, okay? We're giving you these exercises as part of the kindness day, okay? So you circle, you put emotive words to those situations, and then you circle and you see the pattern. Then you get a clear answer on whether you're in the right ballpark or whether you're not, okay? So now that we've established that, okay, in either situation, remember at the beginning of the video we said people that don't know what they want to do and people that have got too many options, okay? So now you know that you're more or less in the right vicinity of doing things you like and love, okay? You want to be in that vicinity. If you're in the other vicinity, you really want to bring yourself to this point, okay? Just on paper, in your head, you want to write out things, because when you write out things, it takes it from, you have alpha, beta, theta, and delta brainwave, okay? You're entraining your brain to think differently. You're training your brain to work with your higher senses. So now I'm going to get into the senses. We've got our 5 senses and we've got our 6 senses, okay? So our 5 senses, taste, touch, smell, all of those things, those were really meant to navigate you through this world, in terms of putting your hand on a hot stove. Okay, we know that's dangerous, you're going to burn. So that was really meant to navigate you in the sensory 3-dimensional realm. It wasn't meant for you to make higher faculty decision making on your life. That is where the 6 senses come. The 6 senses are made up of intuition, okay, creativity, inspiration, memory, will, intention, those are the things that you want to delve in. That's where you want to spend the bulk of your time with your six senses. You want to really use your five senses to brush your teeth, to enjoy a good meal, to have sex, for those kind of sensory situations, but not in terms of your career. So you want to actually take yourself and move yourself out of the way, that sensory amphibian reptilian part of you. You want to move out of the way, and you want to allow that space for downloads to come in, the space that Beethoven created, Bach, Einstein. They all received these amazing downloads, and we are no different from them. There's nothing that separates us from them. The only thing that separates us from them is our resistance to staying in the old version of ourselves and holding on to the past stories we have told about ourselves. My story has been I was a single mom for the longest time, so I held on to that story. I come from a poor background, I held on to that story. My ex did this to me, I held on to that story. My boss, the company, blah, blah, blah. So I was holding on to all these stories, right? So you want to really get yourself out of the way. You want to operate from inwards out and not from outwards in. Because if you behave from outward in, anybody can trigger you. I can come and say something to you. Your mother, your colleague, your business partner can say something and they trigger you, and you're like a yo-yo. Now we're going to get into goals and planning, okay? So goals and planning, it's critically important. Once you know you're in the realm of what you love and what you like, you're not in the other realm, then you can start really jotting down on paper. You've got to take it and put it down on paper, because it shows that you're serious. You're making a clear signal to the laws of abundance and the laws of money that this is the direction you want to go. So when it comes to goals, what are your goals? Do you have long-term goals, medium-term, or short-term goals? Do you have goals for today, this week, 5 years from now? Do you want to build a legacy? Some people have really lousy goals. I just want to get through this week. I just want to pay my bills. That's not a goal, to just pay your bills. We all have bills to pay. You can work on a plan B in terms of going back to your old job and working on that for the meantime while you're working on other things. So don't let that stress you out that you've got bills to pay. You can make a plan, on that. But coming back to you and coming back to what you want to create, you've got to craft your goals and put them down, And that really starts formulating the plan. And now you're already, doing something that you love and like. So already you're attracting the right opportunities, places, people, and things. Already you're in the right chemistry for things to happen in your life, okay? Then you want to start working out what are your targets. You want to then break them down into mini goals, You want to see, for example, I had someone tell me, okay, they want to make $1 million a year. Okay, so I was like, what does that mean, $1 million a year? What do you mean by that? And they couldn't understand. They said, well, I want to make $1 million a year. That's my dream. That's what I put on my vision board. And I said, yes, but you've got to now, unpack it a bit. So in the scenario of people that have multiple things that they love, this is where it comes in. So if you have multiple things that you're good at, multiple things you're passionate about, have your 3 plans out there, okay? Have your plan A, plan your, passion 1, passion 2, passion 3, and have it there and break it down. There's $1 million. So for example, he had the idea of leather, a leather shoe, an expensive leather shoe, as a business. And I said, well, you have to know your threshold. What is your threshold? So in that scenario, if your shoe is going to retail for $200, now you need to sell 5,000 units of that shoe over X amount of time to be able to achieve the 1 million goal. We don't want to have goals that are going to take us 20 years to achieve. They have to be within a reasonable amount of time, And then what are your other goals? What are your dreams? You want to have a house, you want to have a car, you want to have nice things. Those are nice thing goals, So you want to have those goals as well. And then what are your self-development goals? You want to clarify what your self-development goals are. When last have you read a book? When last have you invested in a solid audio? When last have you taken notes on something? You want to always keep your self-development goals in check and be aware of what's driving you. So those are your goals. You want to have clarity on your goals, okay? And just to round off, because there's so much to unpack on this topic, but I'm just trying to give you the highlights, okay? So there's your own goals that you need to get a handle on, your big, long-term, medium-term, small goals. You want to get a handle on it and write it all down, break it down and see where the low-hanging fruit lie. Because either way, you're not going to make a mistake. Either way, it's something you love. So you're not going to make a mistake. It's something that you like. And trust me, it all comes around. You may think you're tackling this passion, and then your other passion comes around. And I've seen it in my own life. I've seen my skills from my career as a corporate strategist come into my business entrepreneurial space. And it just all magically comes together when you're stepping into that flow space, and when you're moving in that download space, when you've moved your restricted self out of the way, okay? And the second part of goals, you want to see other people's goals and how you are triggered by other people's goals. So, for example, your community, your family, your culture. Like in society, there's pressure to be we reward certain factors of success in modern society. So you've got to be pregnant by a certain time. You've got to have kids before the age of 30. You've got to be married by a certain time. You've got to take over the family business. And other people project their goals onto us. Why? Because they're not bad. They're not evil. They're just trying to validate their choices. They're trying to feel safe by your actions. So you've got to be aware of what's triggering you and what's driving you. Napoleon Hill spoke about the 6 fears. So are you reading up on these things? Are you reading up on different novels and finding out, not novels, different thought leaders over the centuries? Because the same thing is being spoken about in different situations. So Napoleon Hill spoke about old age, death, criticism, poverty, different fears that drive humanity. So what's driving you, overarching humanity fears, and what's driving you at a personal level in your personal space, your personal human space, from your family, your friends, your colleagues, your community. Is competition driving you, for example? Because if competition is driving you, then that's the wrong goal. You want to take that off the table because you want to focus on yourself. For example, I see a lot of people posting on what is your hustle. I don't hustle. Hustle implies effort and implies force. You don't want to hustle because that goes against the law of abundance. The law of abundance is flows, it's free flowing, it's unrestricted, and when you're in it, you know it, because things just happen. You don't take things so personally. You depersonalize the negative, and even when things don't go your way in business, you know that there's a bigger picture involved, and you've put your attentions out there. You're doing the work involved. You're doing things you love. So it's all going to come into play. It's all going to just fall into place. And that magic, the how, is not up to you. Leave the how to that magic that Beethoven wrote, Bach, Einstein, Bell, Leave that magic, it'll come. You just do the necessary things you love, okay? Things you like. Write out your goals, long-term, medium-term, work it out. Look at the low-hanging fruit, what you can achieve immediately. Whatever you pick, it's all good, it's all gravy, because it's something you love anyway, okay? Be aware of yourself, aware of what's triggering you, what's driving you. Self-development is critical, okay? And to round off this video, sorry, there's just so much things I want to give in this video. There's certain things that you have to do. So for example, just as a takeaway, I don't plan any meetings. I don't do any actions when I wake up and I'm in a low space, because that means that I haven't done my homework in the evening. I haven't entered into a good sleep state, because you're going from alpha, beta, theta down to delta. And when you're going down in your sleep state, you want to set yourself up and write your intentions. So I write on my phone, I create a WhatsApp with myself, and I write my intentions. Oh, I intend this, I intend that, I dream, I visualize, and I leave it and let the magic occur. And I just give thanks. I have a daily gratitude journal. So that opens up your space. And in that space, I set my actions, I set my meetings, I set my plans for the day. You don't want to do it in any other space, okay? That's just a quick takeaway. Sorry, there's so much to cover, but That's the giveaway for Kindness Day today. And a shout out to our great admin, Vicky. Love you guys lots. And see you on the next video. Bye.